everybody. Happy Monday. And yes, we're a little bit early. Matt Connarton Unleashed. We are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM. And the reason we're a little bit early is the replay of the morning show ended about 15 minutes early. So not sure why, but the replay of the morning show ended. And then I heard the best of that is programmed to come on, just in case something happens as a terrible emergency. I'm abducted by aliens or something, and I'm not here. So that started to come on. So I said, all right, well, I guess we'll just go early. So here we are. Surprise. We're a little bit early, but we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, as well as Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. And I am not alone. Jenny is here at the news desk. Yes.
Present.
Yes.
Are you giving people ideas?
What do you mean?
Abducted by aliens. Are we going to abduct you?
No, I certainly hope not. I think they only they only abduct hillbillies.
How do you know?
Although depending on who
Where's
you
your
ask,
evidence?
well, some
Proof,
people,
man, proof.
Some people think that everyone from New Hampshire is hillbillies.
This is true.
I mean, some people think that even if you're from Iowa, you're actually from New Hampshire, as we have learned recently.
And Texas too, right?
I think so.
Wasn't there a Texas?
But if you're from
Or was
Florida,
that Maine?
But if you're from Florida, people know you're from Florida.
I'm so confused.
Yes.
Oh.
But hello, everyone. We have a great show for you coming up on this Monday. Katie Dobbins will be calling in. Easy G, of course, set that up. He is, I dare say, responsible for all of her success, as with Amanda McCarthy and
Of course.
And who else? April Cushing.
I didn't see the red
Cushman. Sorry,
I didn't see the red carpet out front. Is he coming in?
he is not.
Oh, that's why.
He was on the morning show this morning,
see.
and I think that's probably why they ended early.
He's a king without a crown.
He just he exhausted everyone on the morning show, I think, is what happened. So that's my theory. But so Easy G won't be with us today, but Katie will be calling in at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time. Let's see.
There's weirdness afoot.
Well, it's weird. Yeah, it's always a little bit. I'm always a little thrown off when we because this is not the first time this has happened where we've started a few minutes early because the replay of the morning show ended early. So I don't know what happened there. It may have started early. It might have been. It might have been the normal 2 hours, and there was a glitch, and it started early, and that's why it ended early, the replay.
That's not why I said it.
My first theory is better, though, or was that your theory, that it ended
No, I
early
was
because
having
of...
a private moment with one of our listeners.
Oh, well, my first theory, I think, is better, that Easy G just exhausted everyone, and they said, let's wrap up the show 15 minutes early.
No.
We should go with that.
No.
Yeah.
There are interesting things afoot.
Okay. If you say so.
I told you.
All right. All right. I do want to remind you, of course, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Don't Go There Today. Monday and Tuesday is their weekend. They do have things going on there today, but I believe that is a ticketed event, the small business event.
Yes, this one is ticketed.
I would have liked to have attended it myself, but it started at 3:30, so that would be...
figure out how to cut you in half.
Yeah, that would be... I'd be pretty useless if I were cut in half. But if I'm abducted by aliens, that is one of the things I think they do.
Mayhaps you should have sent someone in your stead.
Perhaps. Yes. One of my technicians.
Yes. The ones that you fly around the globe.
That's right. Yes.
To bail out people in their mom's basement.
That's right. But
trapped between the 8 tracks.
But the Hop Knot, of course, they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. Thursday nights, they have trivia night with the great Bill Cini, which I believe, I assume Bill is returning this week. And, of course, Friday nights, they have the great Grant Lampton performing live every Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Hop Knot. So,
and I think this weekend is their gender blender.
Oh, is that this weekend?
I think the gender blender is this weekend.
Ah, very good.
We will have to confirm that for our listeners.
Yes. So, we're very very honored and proud to have them as a sponsor, as always. Such a wonderful family that owns and operates it.
Yeah.
And let's see. Well, let me give the numbers if you'd like to call in. Again, keeping in mind, we do have a guest calling us at 4:15, the great Katie Dobbins. But if you would like to get in with a quick call at the top of the show, you can. And by the way,
867-530. No.
No.
Oh,
but
not yet?
but by the
Okay.
way, if you are just joining us, because it is now 4 p.m. If you're just joining us and you're confused because it sounds like we've already been on the air for a few minutes, we have. We just, the replay of the morning show ended about 15 minutes early, so we started about 15 minutes early, so that's why. So yes, we have been on the air for a bit. But 603-250-6007 is the number, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476, tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do, of course, give us a call at 603-250-6007. I did want to, I forget what the exact status was when we left on Friday when we were wrapping up, but I did want to, of course, publicly, here give condolences, of course, to our friend Paulie C., host of Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And of course, he's been on this show many, many times, as well as the morning show. His father did pass away over the weekend. And Friday night, it is up on Podbean for anyone who, on the WMNH website, for anyone who wants to check it out. Paul did a very nice tribute. I don't know if Paul talked at all during the show, but he played music that I think meant a lot to his dad. And, he was here by himself, and I kind of, he and I didn't have direct communication about that being his intention, but I kind of figured it out because he had mentioned to me earlier in the week, before he knew exactly how things were going to turn out, but the way things were looking, he said no show Friday night. And then he did mention on Facebook that he was going to be coming in to play some music in honor of his dad. So it was like, okay, so I think he's still going to do something, but I think he wants to be alone for that, which I totally understand. In that position, I would be the same way. I'd want to just, be alone and just, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But, so that's what Paul did here Friday night. So there was a show, but condolences. And it's funny, Paul had, posted on Facebook a story about there was I don't have it in front of me, and if it's on his Facebook page for anyone who wants to see it, but he told a story of an incident once when he was a kid. I don't know if you saw this, where
I did see it.
His father had saved him from drowning, and I commented to him. I said, you and I have something in common, because my father, and I'm sure I've told you the story.
Yep.
My dad saved me from drowning once when I was a kid. So we have that in common. I mean, my dad is still with us, thankfully, but, and in good health as far as I know, but, you can't take it for granted. So anyway, so condolences. I think Paul's, mom, left us a number of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but very, very sad, for Paul. So, he's tough. He'll bounce back, but, I just wanted to mention that. So.
A lot of love from everyone here. Absolutely.
And he was getting a lot of love on Facebook, which I know he appreciates. So we love you, Paulie C. Hang in there. Friday too. Actually, I don't know. The irony is I don't know if I even would have been able to hang in there Friday anyway if I had stayed.
You were down.
Yeah. So Friday, what happened is I had a physical Friday morning. And there is an irony to all of this, by the way. So the physical went very well. My doctor actually said to me, health-wise, you're still a very young man, which is wonderful to hear. But
it's worded that way. That's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thanks. I'm officially still young. But the irony is this. During the same appointment, he tells me health-wise, I'm still a very young man. But then he tells me I need to get vaccinated for pneumonia, which is something they usually do when you're 65 or over.
But why?
But now, well, it's just funny that, I'm a very young man, but I need this old person's vaccination. But there is a
old person's.
Well,
wow.
Well, I'm just saying.
Ow, Maddie.
Well, compared to a 65-year-old person,
Come on.
we're still young. But
we're
But I just thought that was funny. But the reason, of course, in my case, is because I have asthma. So I'm high risk. As a person with asthma, who's obviously my lungs aren't working exactly as they should be to begin with. So if I end up with fluid in my lungs, which is what pneumonia is, that would be especially bad. So he really wanted me to get the vaccination. So I did. Because I believe in science, I believe in vaccines, I trust my doctor. I had an actual conversation with my doctor about it. That's how it's, just for anyone who doesn't know, because I know some people don't understand, that's how medical decisions like this should go, really.
That's not how people do it these days, Maddie.
I mean, I suppose I could have said to him, no, actually, Dr. Ma, listen, what I'd prefer to do is I'm going to go home and find some fringe websites and watch some YouTube videos.
I'm going to Google search it.
Yeah, I'm going to maybe I can find some YouTube videos made by some quack who's an anti-vaxxer, and then I'll send you an email saying, I'm sorry, doctor, I've decided.
Find me a neutral doctor.
Yeah, I've decided I just can't I can't go through with it. No, but no, of course I trust my doctor and I trust his judgment, and it made perfect sense as an asthmatic. But wow, so when I got the Pfizer vaccine, I got 2 doses back in April. The first dose, I had it on a Monday, and it took a couple of days for me to get the side effects. But that Wednesday, if you remember, after my show, I went home and I said, I have to lie down. Like, I was so tired, and I slept for like 12 hours. The second dose, it was the same day. It was a Monday. I had my second dose. I went home, and I was like, I have to lie down. And I think that time I slept for 15 hours. It just But
that was it. Both times.
And I'm not complaining. Well worth it. I can deal with being tired for a day. But the pneumonia vaccine, oh my God.
Right?
I was
3 days you were down.
It affected me, yeah.
I swear.
Well, the worst was the first day because I had it, my appointment was early in the morning. But coming in to do the show Friday, I was like, wow, I'm really tired. Like, really tired.
I remember when you came home, you were really, really out.
Yeah, and then I was struggling just to get through the show Friday. I don't think I would have been able to remain conscious for Paul's show Friday night. I was struggling to get through the show, and then you remember as soon as I got home, I was like, I got to lie down.
You were down.
And I slept through the night. So
you were down.
And again, I'm not complaining about any of it. These kinds of side effects are actually a good thing because it means that your body is reacting to the vaccine as it should and building those antibodies and whatnot. So I'm not complaining about any of it. But I was not prepared for how much it knocked me down. And so the next day I felt a little less lethargic.
But you were still.
And the next day I felt a little less lethargic than that. But yeah, today's the first day I feel normal again.
It's taken you over 3 days to really come back from it.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it knocked you down as much as it did.
Yeah, me too.
But it just goes to show you don't know how you're going to react to any given medication or vaccine or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I was I was really struggling Friday because I remember Friday.
But you've never had pneumonia.
Correct.
You've never been exposed that you're aware of.
Correct.
And they just give you a vaccine and you have a harder hit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Boy, that makes sense science-wise, doesn't it?
Mm.
Isn't that what they say? Only difference being, amazingly, that it was the pneumonia one that put you down longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess if you're in all
you're
that...
one of those weirdos that's like avoided everything that other people get. Like you don't have any cavities.
True.
You're a total weirdo.
Yep, yep. Well,
that's why we love you.
I got lucky genetically on that one because neither of my parents have been prone to cavities either. So as the offspring of 2 parents who don't get cavities, I just have like super indestructible teeth.
Must have been like carnivores in your history or something.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah. I remember like 20.
Mine were all like fruits and veggies or something.
I remember like 20 years ago, my dentist said to me, if you don't have a cavity by now, you're probably just never going to have them. I mean, there's still other things that can go wrong with teeth, obviously. But he said, as far as cavities, he's like, you're just not meant to have cavities. I said, okay.
Oh, gee, don't like you anymore.
Yeah.
Rub it in.
Yeah.
Rub.
Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, so I was wiped out. And I was, it didn't even occur to me at first because I was tired coming in and I thought, I'm only running on a few hours sleep. I really hadn't had a lot of sleep. But the thing is, I can usually function really well on very little sleep. This was a different level of tired. And then I was like, and then all of a sudden it was during the show. I was like, oh, duh. It's because I got
dragging your tail when you came in. That was for sure.
I got the pneumonia vaccine today. Like all of a sudden it occurred to me and then it seemed obvious. And I was like, and I couldn't believe it didn't occur to me sooner. But we never discussed side effects. It was just like, all right, man, give me the jab.
Hey, it beats a ventilator.
Yes.
So there's that.
100%.
There's that.
100%. So, and then you said 3 years, right? They do it every 3 years.
I think so.
I didn't think to ask him.
I'm not sure, or maybe that's animals and rabies. I could be. I'm not sure.
Oh my! It's probably on the paperwork. Let's see. Let's say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat. Oh, actually, we have a call. Could be our guest. She might be early. We'll see. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, this is Mary, the new Ron.
Hey, Mary. How you doing?
Sorry. Yeah, sorry about that.
Hey, don't apologize to me.
I'm just calling in because you're talking about how sleepy you are, but I heard Eric, or EGG, excuse me, on the morning show, and he is like sleeping like a champ, apparently.
He's what? Sleeping like a champ?
Sleeping
yeah.
like a champ. He got some sleep aids, and apparently they're working for him because he was all fired up.
Good.
That's awesome.
A good fired up. Not like off the rails fired up. He was a good fired up. So
yeah. No, that's good. That's good. He needs to take care of himself.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Does he still have his little walker?
Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah, he moves quick with the walker. We've seen him in action with that walker at the relay for
I have.
I couldn't keep up. I'm not even kidding.
No kidding. With his orange T-shirt and his Hannaford bag.
And he wasn't waiting for me either, so I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Good. Jenny, I would love to hang out with you. We're going to go to the Hawk Knot and have a drink. You seem like a hot ticket.
Some people say that, yes, and then opinions vary, so, there's the other side.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was just calling to check in. I'm not going to take up your time, but yeah, great show. I love listening to it. So,
oh, thank you.
I get to hear Pete on the way into work, and I get to hear you guys on the way home from
work.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Excellent. Well,
that's what I kind of like to imagine in my brain. That's cool.
Yes. Well, you don't have to imagine it. It's a reality.
Show off.
It is a reality.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, love you guys. Keep up the good
you.
work. You're very entertaining, and yeah, we'll definitely have to do a whole, not even a reunion. What would you call it? A get together with the shows,
WMNH
different shows, and oh god, there's a cruiser driving by me, and I have a phone to my ear. It's okay, we passed.
Not distracted.
Yeah, that would be so fun. Let's do an outing. That's what. How about at the Hill at McIntyre?
Huh?
Is that like a skiing thing?
McIntyre?
No.
Is this something people throw themselves down? I don't want to
outside
go hurling down the side of a mountain.
Sorry, what, Mary?
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff. It'd be fun. We should do just like a MNH get together outing, whatever you want to call it. So, but I love you guys. You're awesome.
All right, Mary.
Take care, and thanks for taking my call.
Anytime. Thank you so much for the call. Nice to hear from you.
Okay, love you guys.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye. All right, Mary from Manchester. Always nice to hear from her. Let's see. I'd give the numbers, but our guest is going to be.
So apparently your 1-dose vaccine is all you need, dear. By the looks of things, 1 or maybe 2 on the pneumonia vaccine. So the recommendations are that younger than 2 years old, they're given 4 shots, and then a booster between the ages of 12 and 15. 65 and older are given 2 shots, which last you the rest of your life. Between 2 and 64 years of age, between 1 and 3 shots if you have a certain immune disorder or if you are a smoker. But the recommendation, I guess, is that all adults 65 or older should receive 1 dose of pneumococcal vaccine. So
no mention of asthma there.
Well, no, not specifically. But if you have certain immune system disorders and
well, I don't have an immune system disorder. Maybe I shouldn't have trusted my doctor. Maybe my doctor did inject.
Daddy.
Maybe I've been injected with some sort of tracking device. Now Bill Gates is probably tracking me.
Will you not go down the rabbit hole?
And now George Soros is going to come to our house
Come
and
away from the
kidnap me.
cliff, man. Step away from the cliff.
I'll tell you. I don't know.
Stop it.
Something about it didn't sound quite right to me. Now I'm starting to wonder.
Oh, gee.
Hey,
respiratory illness doesn't want respiratory illness.
Why
Go
am
figure.
I?
Why are you what?
Why am I suddenly?
Why are you here?
Why am
are we all here, Maddie?
Why am I suddenly fantasizing about communism?
What?
I think it has something to do with that vaccine.
How did we get there?
I'm having fantasies about living in a communist country.
What kind of fantasies are you having? Am I in this?
I want to move to China.
No, go by yourself.
I don't know. I think it's got something to do with that vaccine.
Oh, God.
It's altering my thoughts.
Stop it. You're going to end up a QAnon theory.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hello, this is Katie Dobbins.
Katie Dobbins, how are you? Yes, a little bird known as EZG told us you might be calling. How are you?
Oh, good. I was hoping you were expecting me. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So what's been going on? Give us the update on your music career.
Oh, man, what a time to be in music. It's been so interesting. And the good news is that it being summer and outdoor shows being a safe option, feels safe to me to be outside.
Mm-hmm.
I have been able to perform again, which has been so exciting and soul-filling. And I have an outdoor show coming up actually in Boston on September 11th, which I'm really excited about. So that's my biggest update, is just like the ability to see human faces again and see people's reaction to my music and not just hear it. I mean, I've done a lot of live shows on Facebook and YouTube, and I love reading the comments, and people have made those really fun too, but there's just something different about being in person, as I'm sure you all know. So that's been really fun.
Absolutely. Online, you've been doing like a regular thing, right? Every week, the Starlight Lounge or something?
Yeah, so I think last time I was on here, which was a little bit ago, I had just launched my Patreon page, which if people haven't heard of Patreon, it's like a subscription that you can do for independent singer-songwriters or artists, and you can support them on a monthly basis, and then in return you get some cool like VIP access things. So I've been doing a monthly kind of residency out of my Patreon page, or what I call the Starlight Lounge. So that's been really fun too. And I do some stuff too, just like on Facebook and YouTube, but the big show that I do every month is there in the Patreon page.
Yeah. Was that something you started when the pandemic hit, or is that something you were already doing?
That is something I started when I made the shift into full-time music making in February or March of this year. And so one of the first things I did is launch that kind of virtual space, I guess, once I made that shift and I had the time to really devote to a consistent online presence.
Yeah. Well, when you made the shift into being a full-time musician, I mean, was there a part of you that, with with the way the pandemic was going, did you ever have a moment where you go, oh, maybe this wasn't the right time for this?
I really didn't. I had those moments leading up to my decision, but I'm the kind of person who, when I make a decision, it's like years in the making.
Yeah.
So I like hemmed and hawed and prayed over this decision so much. And by the time I made it, I was so confident that this was the right thing to do, that even though it's weird, like even though it seems like a crazy time to do something like that, it almost made it more exciting. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I was like, no, this is the time, this is the decision, and I don't know, we're just going to see what happens.
Right.
But it's been interesting for sure. And a lot of people are like, really, now? And I'm like, I guess so.
Yeah. You got to play the hand you're dealt, and no, good for you for sticking with it and not second guessing, but just.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing: there's never a perfect time to do something. Like sometimes and for me, this decision, it felt like there have always been reasons for me to not pursue my passion 100%. And there's always been like things standing in the way. And so for me, it just felt like, well, of course, there's another thing standing in the way, but that's always going to be the case. So I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. What drove you to make the I mean, did it just feel like the right time to become a full-time musician? Because that is a big step, when you're used to, working and playing music on the side, to really go for it as a full-time career. I mean, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Even taking
Yeah,
the
for sure.
pandemic, pandemic out of it.
Yeah, there's so many contributing factors to the decision, but it's something that I had been wanting to do for at least a couple years before I did it. And then there were some added technicalities that I won't get into, but with the whole outbreak of the pandemic, and I had relocated from Boston back home to New Hampshire. And so there were some practical things too that made it feel like, you know what, I think now's a crazy time and it's as good a time as ever to do this thing that I've been wanting to do for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. No, very good. Very good.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, hopefully people listening, and hopefully I'm sure you've heard of the New England Music Awards.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ton of awesome names nominated for Best of State in New Hampshire this year. I was lucky enough to get on the list.
Oh.
And the voting for that closes tomorrow. So anyone who's listening, I encourage you to check out that list. It's nemusicawards.com/vote. And there's all kinds of categories. And then one of the categories is Best in State New Hampshire. Myself and a bunch of other people are nominated. So I'd love for you to take a minute and vote. It's super fast, super easy.
That's let's give us that website one more time, Katie. I want to make sure people get it.
Awesome. Yeah, it's NE as in New England, musicawards.com/vote.
Okay, cool. And I just pulled it up here on my browser so I can remind people again later in the show. Excellent, excellent. Are you playing out? I mean, how many shows are you doing in a month? Are you playing pretty steady now that things have opened back up?
I've been a little slower than some to start with the live shows. I had an outdoor show in Concord, New Hampshire recently that was really fun, and I have the outdoor show in Boston coming up on September 11th. There's going to be music all day Saturday and all day Sunday. It's part of the Boston Arts Festival, so that'll be really fun. And other than that, it's just been consistent things online.
Yeah.
So the best way to find me is on Facebook at Katie Dobbins Music, Instagram, and then I'm always putting new videos and content out on my YouTube page too.
By the way, and I think I asked you this the last time we talked, but I can't remember what you said about it. The podcast that you were doing, Let the Music Set You Free, is that done, or are you still doing that?
So that I've kind of took an extended break on that, but I really miss it. And so I'm in the process right now of reimagining what it's going to look like, but I am bringing it back this fall. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll be posting about that on all of my music pages, but there is also a separate Let the Music Set You Free page on Facebook and Instagram that I'll be posting specifically just things related to the podcast. So I've already been lining up some guests, and the exciting change that I want to do with it moving forward is making it about the music, but also making it about giving back to organizations who are helping set people free with tangible resources, throughout New England. And so I'm super excited about that. And yeah, it's still in the organizing phase, but it's coming back this September. So
outstanding. All right, very good.
Yeah.
And where are your next shows? Do you have anything specific you wanted to plug that you've got coming up in the area or anywhere?
Yeah, definitely. So if anyone is listening who enjoys worship music and prayer, it's not really what I do. Like, that's not, I guess, how I would market my music most of the time. But I have been doing short kind of Christian music sets on the first Wednesday of every month online. And then in addition to that, I have the Boston Arts Festival show coming up on Saturday, September 11th. I'm playing at noon, and that is really exciting. It's the only live show I have on my calendar right now. I know it's a little bit of a drive from Manchester. If anybody wants to check it out, that should be fun. And then I have my next online show where I'll be playing my original songs on Patreon as part of my monthly Starlight Lounge residency I'm doing. That's coming up on September 20th. And to join, it's not a ticketed event. You just have to be part of the lounge or part of my Patreon page, which starts at only $2 a month. So it's a really, easy way, I guess, to support me and what I'm doing, but also like get to go to those shows and stuff for really whatever amount. You can kind of choose your donation amount there. So
Gotcha. No, that's wonderful. Absolutely. All right, Katie. Well, listen, thank you for calling in. And I think what I'm going to do is at the end of the call, I'm going to play this song "Starlights." It's really a
cool.
very, very pretty song. I think that'll be a nice way to wrap up. But again, the website is katieDobbinsmusic.com.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, and that's got all your social media links and everything on it, obviously. So, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, it's a one-stop shop for sure.
Outstanding. All right, Katie, thank you so much. Congratulations on everything. Good luck with the awards, and we'll make sure to give that website out again during the show. And thank you for the call today.
Thanks so much. Thanks for letting me call in, and have a great rest of your show.
All right, Katie. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
All right, that was the great Katie Dobbins. Easy G set that up for us, and here we're gonna listen to this. This is Starlights, and then we'll be right back.
When the night is dark and quiet, I look up and see you smiling. Your eyes remind me that we're still shining. No matter where life takes us, we'll be fine. 'Cause we are starlights, shining from the inside, keeping dreams alive. We're starlights. When my light is dimmed and fading, you speak to my heart, reminding me that even a little bit of glitter can be enough to light up the whole sky. We are starlights, shining from the inside, keeping dreams alive. We're starlights. We're starlights. So gather all you hungry hearts, let's come alive tonight. All we need's a lot of love and a little bit of light. I get a whole lot brighter when I feel your hand in mine. Join us in the open sky where all of us can shine. We are starlights,
that's nice. She has such a beautiful voice. That is Starlights by the great Katie Dobbins, who called us earlier and got us caught up on what she's up to. And our friend Easy G was very excited to have her call in today. And I know he wishes he could be here, but I think he had a doctor's appointment. Plus, he's probably exhausted from being on the morning show.
Yes, he was very energetic this morning.
Yes. You can tell he's, as Mary from Manchester was pointing out, he was very rested. He's getting some rest.
See, and he was a smart cookie and asked his doctor to help him. He didn't use a Google search to come up with some crazy herb to mix into this tea under the pale moonlight while having a red rose. No, wait a minute.
No, that's something. That's something else. That's something else. But you can find Katie Dobbins if you want to catch up on everything that she's doing. KatieDobbinsMusic.com is the website. And, of course, if you want to vote for her, as you should, in the New England Music Awards, the voting ends, I think she said tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
So you can go to nemusicawards.com/vote.
And vote.
And we encourage you to do so.
Ooh, and while you're there, cast a vote for DJ Midas, who is up also for an award.
Yes. DJ Midas.
DJ Midas is up for an award. I got to cast a vote for him.
Yes, I did too. Yes. And of course, he's a new father. And,
I know.
And part of the WMNH family. He's the host of Late Night Delight, which is every Friday night from midnight. Noon.
Where are you?
There I go changing the no, from midnight, 12 midnight to 4 a.m. with a replay on Sunday night if you miss it.
Witching hour.
Yes.
Not a Western. It's not high noon.
Right, that's true.
Jeez,
if you'd like to join us, you can call in at 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can opine and interact in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do is give us a call at 603-250-6007. And we'll say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat quickly. Top fan Wayne Noel, all the way from Michigan, says, afternoon all. Jenny, I see you're in there.
I'm everywhere.
Shalom. Neely Tynes joins us and says hello from Linwood, Washington. Hello.
Yoo-hoo.
Tom Blanchard is in the chat and says more is better. I think that's a reference to we did start the show a little bit early today because the replay of the morning show ended early, so that afforded us a little bit of bonus time. Tom Blanchard is in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Tom. Andrew Joseph Reed Downs McCann Brown says hello, gang. Andrew, of course, from Tomorrow Radio in Ireland.
No, right?
Yes.
I still think that's cooler than cool.
I know.
That they like you. They're listening to some Unleashed.
That's amazing.
Ireland.
I'm Irish, I'm Irish and German. Connarton is an Irish last name. People don't know that until I tell them. I would think it would be obvious. I mean, the first two syllables are Connor. So you just add the ton, Connarton.
I thought it was 10. Connor 10.
No, that's something different.
Unite.
That's something else.
Well, now I'm confused.
Yes, I know.
Again.
Mike Pelopita, who is a top fan from Queen City Cabinetry, one of the wonderful sponsors here at WMNH and big supporters of all the shows here. Hello, Mike. Tom Blanchard says, Paulie C., love to you, brother, referring to, of course, as we discussed at the top of the show, our friend Paulie C. Lost his dad over the weekend. Tom also says, are you type O? I actually don't know my blood type. Is that bad? Is that bad? I don't feel like it.
I think it's weird.
Is it?
I thought everybody knew.
Does everyone know their blood type? I have no idea what my blood type is.
I can remember, I'll tell you, it's funny. The first time I learned my blood type, I was in the Montney Young Elementary School in Massachusetts, and we all stuck our fingers in class and had these little cards and stuff to figure out our blood types. That's what we did it in science class.
Oh.
That would so not get over today. That would not happen today. I am the universal recipient, but not the universal donor.
Well, I have no idea, but I was a fan of.
It's not O neg.
But I was a fan of the band Type O Negative.
That's a good musical stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Tom Blanchard says, I would like to clarify the Cruising Downtown car show. It's the biggest car show in New England, and it's $5 for spectators and $35 for show cars. For it is a fundraiser for the Manchester Rotary Club. And I believe the reason Tom is
you believe
expressing this is because our friend Easy G,
oh, hold on now.
the entertainment reporter, was on the morning show saying that it was free or that he goes but he never pays.
Yes, Tom actually does go into more detail in a later post.
Oh, well,
he does.
Oh, wow, this will be interesting then.
It's a scandalous event.
So what should we call this scandal?
It's a scandal.
Event gate?
Cargate.
Cargate?
It's Cargate.
Tom says, spectators, please pay $5. Easy G thinks it's a free event. It's not really free.
But he'll take 2 tickets.
Yeah, probably, yes. Do you think Easy G is trying to usurp the fundraiser?
Well, I think he apparently, and see, there's no way that I could say this, that it's going to sound right. Because apparently he was under the assumption that the $5 is a suggested donation, making it optional. Therefore, he could just go for free.
Right.
And there is no way to put that truth out there without it sounding really bad. I'm sorry. I did not roll the bus, though. No,
right.
Tom rolled the bus. Matt drove it.
Yes.
I'm just here to clean up the mess.
Happy to drive the bus.
I love you, Easy.
No, we all do, of course.
Yes, but we should, we need to support community events. That's how it works.
And no, I did not wear the WrestleMania shirt that he got for you that I'm supposed to wear. He mentioned on the morning show he thought I was going to be wearing it today. I will wear it the next time Easy G is going to be joining us in studio. I will wear it for him then. That's assuming it even fits me.
Dare I say he thought he apparently didn't realize how endowed I am.
Well, Andy likes to order women's clothing. I guess it's a fetish.
I thought that looked like no.
So-
woman's style has like a V to it.
Yeah, well, he claims it's a woman's shirt,
No.
so it won't fit him.
Girl's shirt, maybe.
I don't think it'll fit
Teens
me
and
either.
teen section. Maybe.
We'll see. I'll give it a try.
But I love him for thinking of me.
By the way, Katie Dobbins, also known as Katie Jean, is in the Facebook live chat and says, thanks, everyone. And thanks for the invitation, Eric Gagnon. Matt Connarton, Unleashed. Love Katie Dobbins. Well, thank you, Katie. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see.
See, I'm not alone. Somebody in the chat room, Christine, just typed that they did it in her science class too.
Yep.
Where you clicked your finger,
Type B.
and it would tell you, and then you'd find out what your blood type was.
Yeah, I have no idea my blood type. It's probably on my birth certificate, right? They put that on there, I would assume.
No,
They don't?
it's not on your birth certificate.
They don't put that on your birth certificate?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That seems strange to me.
No. Why do you think that needs to be on the birth certificate?
Why wouldn't it be?
No.
It's
no
really
birth
not?
certificate. No, it's not.
Why wouldn't they put that on there?
Because there's no reason to put it on there. Why do I need to put it on there?
Well, where would it be then? Where would
It's
they
in
put
your
it?
medical chart, Gooba.
Medical chart?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to,
You know that electronic thing that the doctors go and look at before they give you stuff?
I guess.
Like blood?
Why wouldn't that be on your birth certificate?
Why would it be on your birth certificate?
Seems strange.
They want
to
it like, you
What?
really think that we, no, it's not on
They
your
put
birth
all kinds of other
certificate.
stuff on there.
They put on where you're born, as in locality, on a map. They put in the building, like the hospital or like your house back in the day, or maybe even today. I don't know. They put parents sign it usually, or people sign it, and that makes you and then they file that with the government because the government needs to know where to tax you.
Yeah.
But they don't give a care what your blood type is. They just want to be able to tax you. Put you in the system.
Don't they
Get you marked.
Don't they put like your weight when you're born or something on there?
No, not really.
No?
It's not needed. They usually hair color, eye color. You might get like a fun certificate from whoever delivered the baby to say, oh, look, 8 pounds, 16 ounces, 20 inches long. Woo-hoo. But no, that's not necessarily on a birth certificate.
I just feel like my birth
a
certificate
birth certificate
has
is about your
a lot
birth.
of
You were born.
information on it.
No.
Oh.
Well, back in the, I mean, we can do stuff today we couldn't do when you were born. Why the heck? No, dear. There's no blood typing on your birth certificate.
Well, when we all got to see Obama's birth certificate, there was a lot of information. Maybe that's a bad example.
That's a bad example, and that was probably not a real certificate.
Oh, wow. Aren't you very right-wing all of a sudden?
Well, apparently. There was no way to, just no. No.
I hope everyone knows I'm kidding. I do believe, and I assume you do as well, that it was a legitimate Obama's birth certificate.
Yeah, whatever.
It was a legitimate.
So old. You need new material here, buddy.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Need a different birth certificate to go after. Now, Trump's tax returns. There's something.
Do those have his blood type? And maybe he doesn't want us to know his blood type?
I doubt that.
Oh. By the way, Tom Blanchard says in all caps, I love you guys. Well, thank you, Tom.
we love you, too.
We appreciate that. And we're always looking for a new scandal with
you know how to put both feet forward there, buddy.
Well, we should do our obligatory, and if you don't want to hear it, shut us off and come back in 5 minutes. We have to do, because there's always something new.
Why?
We have to do the obligatory Crazy Joe update.
It won't go away.
It won't. And what a day. What a day.
Like a venereal disease.
So this morning, Crazy Joe, he goes on Facebook Live. He starts one of his videos. Now, it's unusual for him to do this in the morning. He usually does it in the evening. So he starts one of his videos, and he's arguing with our friend Charles Richardson of the Charles Richardson Show. Crazy Joe is talking in the video. Charles Richardson is in the chat room, and they're arguing back and forth. Charles is typing, Crazy Joe is talking. So then that finally ends. And then, so Charles Richardson, this is only, I think, the second time he's ever made a video specifically about Crazy Joe. The first time was when he came to our defense, when we first ran afoul of, this real New Yorker. Charles makes a video, and he's very upset with Crazy Joe, and he's calling him names and whatnot. And then I see a notification from Facebook, Crazy Joe just went live.
Yep.
So while Charles is doing a video talking about Crazy Joe and ripping him up, Crazy Joe is doing a video attacking Charles.
And ripping him up.
Yes.
They were verbal fisticuffins, but they couldn't see each other. They were telling each other off.
Yeah.
But neither could see the other because they were both live at the same time.
Yeah.
This is just chapter 3.
And the other thing that happened over the weekend is I found, so there's a podcast called Nobody Likes Onions hosted by Patrick Melton. And I found a bunch of interesting videos on the Nobody Likes Onions channel on YouTube, including a music video that I shared out on social media with Crazy Joe and another gentleman in it. but one of the most interesting things.
Don't drink anything when you watch it. Just say it.
Yeah. But I also found an episode of Nobody Likes Onions from May of this year where Crazy Joe called in, and they chatted for a while. And a very interesting pattern. Again, Crazy Joe trying to get Patrick to help him with his show.
Same show.
Talking about the Crazy Joe show and how great it's going to be.
Show.
And, of course, so I do need to reach out to Patrick Melton, and I did make a comment, and I got a like from Patrick on the YouTube channel that Patrick and I should compare notes.
Seriously,
but,
this guy is like the enigma, and how you don't know how far the hole is.
Yeah,
the deeper we go, the more people come out.
But the thing that happened today was just so wild. Just
but then he came back with another video.
Oh, of course.
And of course, he was back on you, by the way.
Oh yeah,
you ratso.
Yeah.
And then
I'm still his worst enemy.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, he did call me the C word again today.
Oh, and just
incidentally.
One more thing too. He sent me this. You're just a blanking coward. You let other blanks do your dirty work. No guts at all. But that's what you're from a loser state of blankless New Hampshire. Now, because remember...
Coming from you, I think New Hampshireites are going to take it as a compliment, but whatever.
Well, remember, he believes that all of these people who have an issue with him, whether it's Charles, whether it's our friend Dirk Don from Arrogant Media, Dylan Reynolds, the musician who we talked to that day, who called in. Any of these people.
The litany goes on.
They've all been sent to attack him by me. He
That's
feels
right.
that I have sent them to attack him.
You have a private jet and you fly people around the world, and you could have sent him.
I could have sent
a
him
technician,
a technician. Yes,
but you didn't want to.
but I didn't want
because
to.
I told you not to.
Yeah, it's all such a shame though, because
No.
so much potential.
Not anymore.
If you just take the bigotry, which you can't.
You can't.
You can't unring that bell.
There's no shame here.
But if it were not for all the bigotry, he would be a compelling character.
And for all the bigotry, he deserves to be continuously shut down out of
Yes.
every single avenue we can. I want him to have nothing left than pay.
Oh, by the way,
Pay to play. I
But-
want him to have to pay to play.
By the way, I just got a notification. The Crazy Joe show is live now. He just went live at 4:36 p.m. And I assume that right now
He's trying.
on his Facebook page, he's saying terrible things about me
Not only that,
and about everyone from New Hampshire.
he's taking your fans, Maddie.
Yep.
He's going live now because he promised you he was going to take all your fans. And he was going to take Patrick's fans. And he was going to take Howard Stern's fans. And he
And
was going to
Charles.
take Dirk's fans and Charles's fans. I feel like I'm leaving some out. I really do.
Probably. He's going to take everyone's fans. We're all
It's
in for
amazing
it.
how many bridges he can find to burn in the same pool.
It is. It is. But and you know, and I'd pull up his video and put it on speaker on my phone, but he's probably swearing, so I can't. But that would
Actually air any of it.
that would
Go
be fun.
figure. He produces nothing that can be aired.
That's
Ha!
that's true. That is true. Christine says, "I will never leave you." #fan family. Thank you.
Love you back.
Thank you, Christine.
That's right.
Although you could be a fan of Crazy Joe and still be
I
a fan
doubt
of
it.
ours. It is possible to be a fan of more than one thing, but I don't think Crazy Joe realizes that. By the way, hello to Pete Trouble Morris in the Facebook live chat.
Any appeal he has wears off within 2 seconds because he goes into his racism, sexism, misogyny, horrible. I grew up on, I don't know what. I mean, he's just out there.
yeah.
He's
yeah.
an embarrassment. I would never want to claim him as part of like my own tribe. It's an embarrassing thing.
Well, no,
Just saying.
of course not.
Of course, he'd never claim me into any of his tribe because, you know, I'm those people.
Right. Well, and you're not a real New Yorker.
No,
Those-
I live in New Hampshire, which makes me a cow person,
Those New Yorkers know the truth, as he says.
supposedly.
Suppose.
Even though he doesn't exactly live in New York because it's too expensive.
Yeah, he's in
Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie. Yeah. So there you go. So
But he's a
there's-
real New Yorker who don't live in New York City.
That's right.
I can't make this stuff up.
So there's
You
your,
attract the weirdest things.
yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
This is all you, Maddie.
I suppose.
It's not the first time. And I'm betting it's not going to be the last time that another Fruit Loop comes on here and catches onto your coat heels and tries to wear them.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is. It's about riding your coattails.
So yes, absolutely. So anyway, so there's your obligatory, and yes, it is obligatory, Pete Trouble Morris, your obligatory Crazy Joe update.
God.
And I look forward to later seeing what terrible things he's saying about us right now. And
It's an incurable venereal disease.
but make sure you check out the Crazy Joe in concert video. He worked hard on
No,
it.
they're chronicles.
No, I mean the video, the
Oh,
music
the
video.
music video.
Boy,
Oh,
I'll tell ya.
boy.
He really tears it
Yeah,
up.
he tries to, that's something.
Yes. But anyway, so if you'd like to talk with us, let's see. Yep, we got a little time left in the first hour. Give us a call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to Matt at mattconnerton.com.
Hey, babe, let me share this one with you.
Yeah.
NBC just announced the last plane carrying Americans from Afghanistan has departed and the longest U.S. war concludes. They're actually putting a period in it here.
Mm-hmm.
I find that surprising. Don't we still have a lot of people over there to help? People that helped us?
Probably. Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
I feel like we're closing the door and walking away from a genocide that's going to occur in front of all of us. And we're all just going to watch it happen. And it's going to be women and young girls.
Well, this entire experience has caused me, and I mentioned this last week, that this entire thing has caused me to kind of reassess a lot of my own assumptions and ideas. I think that I've been thinking about this a lot. This has really been on my mind. I think that when thinking about Afghanistan and our presence there and what we've been doing there for the past 2 decades, and then thinking about the prospect of us leaving Afghanistan, I think I fell in to a certain mode of thinking without realizing it that I often criticize other people for doing. I think I did. And what I mean is, so I often complain on the show, and if you're a regular listener, you know, I complain about people's instinct for binary thinking, where any issue, you know, people want to think of it as being either left or right, conservative or liberal, red or blue, black and white, you know, yes, no, whatever. And people refuse to see things as nuanced and complex, even though that's what most issues are, is nuanced and complex. And I'm very critical of people for that. I think part of it is the two-party duopoly. I think part of it is media. There's a lot of reasons why I think people fall into that. But then I kind of had a little bit of an epiphany, because I started to have all these mixed feelings about Afghanistan and how this withdrawal has gone. And I realized something. I think I fell into some of that binary thinking over the years in terms of Afghanistan, because I reflected back on things that I've said and thoughts that I've had and conversations I've had with people both on and off air about it. And what I realized about myself is that I think I fell into that binary thinking, and that I know both on air and off air, there's been many a time that I've said, yes, we need to get out. We've been there for 20 years. We need to get out. Or however many years, at whatever point it was that I made the comment or the conversation I was having at the time, right? Well, we've been there for so long. We need to get out. I think I fell into that, because it's not as simple as, do we belong there or do we not belong there? I mean, I think the question of should we have ever gone in to begin with, that to me is fairly stark. But as far as what became our ongoing occupation there, I'm starting to realize that I think I was thinking about it in a hypersimplified way, because now that this is all happening, I'm looking at it going, well, wait a minute. Is it really as simple as either we stay or we go? Was there not the option of, we hear this number a lot, this 2,500, was there not the option of keeping a small force of 2,500 people there, 2,500 troops there? Was there not the option of at least keeping Bagram Air Base, which, by the way, and this made me really start to re-examine my own thoughts about this whole thing. When analysts start pointing out, just, you know, and things I've been listening to and reading about this, that, you know, Bagram Air Force Base, is it Bagram or Bagram? I think it's Bagram. We built that. Now I guess the Taliban gets to keep it. But that base, you know, Afghanistan borders China. Having that base there strategically was pretty damn useful for us. You know, I mean, the Chinese are thrilled to see us give that up. But having that base there, even if we're not directly engaged with the Taliban or ISIS or whomever in that part of the world, even if we just have that base there with 2,500 troops on that base, kind of keeping an eye on things, being a stabilizing presence, is there not value in that? And I'm starting to realize I was wrong to ever think about Afghanistan as, and I bet a lot of people are having the same sort of reevaluation in their own minds when they think about this. I think I was wrong to ever think of it in such stark terms. And it's so easy to say, oh, we should get out, we should get out. Never should have been there, let's leave. It's so easy to just say that. But we've seen in real time why it's not so simple.
You're right about that. And it's not that simple. And this is what, I have a number of things that are bothering me. What happened to America doesn't negotiate with terrorists? What happened to that?
Well, that's never been a serious, I mean, we always have.
So if somebody, please explain to me why Trump was negotiating with the Taliban instead of who was the president of Afghanistan, who was the sitting Afghani government that had to run quickly so they wouldn't be killed by the Taliban. Why was the American president making an agreement with the Taliban who wasn't in charge of the country?
Well, let me just say about that just quickly. I have no issue with the Trump administration negotiating with the Taliban, except for the Afghanis should have been at the table. The Afghani government, President Ghani, is that how you say his name, should have been at the table too.
Sounds to me like they got blindsided.
The mistake that Trump and Pompeo made is they thought it was perfectly fine to negotiate with the Taliban without the Afghani government being at the table as well. And that, to me, not only a mistake, but actually pretty damn bizarre. I mean,
well,
I don't know.
We're talking about a man who doesn't
was.
have. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I don't know what the point was from their point of view to leave the Afghanis out of it unless they thought they could get something done quickly. They were trying to be expedient about it, and then they could, just do what they did when they pulled out of Syria. I mean, I would say, I don't think, because there are some who will say, well, if Trump had, been the one getting us out of Afghanistan, this all would have been different. I don't believe that for a minute. Look at the mess that happened when Trump decided we were leaving Syria. I mean, that also, not as bad.
Oh, I got no love for Biden in this one.
Not on the same scale. Well, I don't have any love for either of them on this. I mean,
this is worse than Syria.
No, I think it's worse.
This is far worse.
But I'm just saying, anyone who wants to make the argument, oh, Trump could have done this better. No, I think Trump would have. I actually think Trump would have Again, I don't like the way Biden did this, but I think Trump would have approached it probably pretty much the same way as Biden. Yeah, let's just leave because. Past his prologue, look at how Trump decided to take us out of Syria. It was like, whoa, dude, what are you doing? It's this rip the bandage off approach, and I do understand it in one sense.
Than that.
But I do not believe that if the Biden administration actually had any inkling that it was going to be this much of a mess, that they would have done it this way.
Oh, bull. They knew. Maybe they didn't think it was going to happen this fast, but they knew the stuff was going to hit the fan. The Biden administration has completely screwed this up in the worst possible way.
I agree with
there
that.
There are thousands of people, probably hundreds of thousands of people that are not only going to die, but pay for this. The problem I see on both the Biden administration and the Trump administration is nobody gave a care about the women. Nobody cared. You're negotiating with people who buried a woman up to her neck and stoned her to death. You are negotiating with people that will take a cane and rip it across a 12-year-old little girl's body because she dared to go to freaking school. Because these people promised they were going to treat women better this go around. We won't stone as many of them this go around. We'll only take child brides that are over the age of 9. Give me a break. Biden, Trump, nobody. They don't care about women. They don't care what they set up for. This is an atrocity. This is a worldwide atrocity. And unfortunately, from where I'm sitting, it seems that the American government and countless other ones are content to go along with this. Because you know what? That's when everything, even if you give Biden the benefit of the doubt, the minute the poop started hitting the fan and we're taking people out like it's Saigon, he should have sent in troops. Okay, this isn't happening. But instead, he's standing there welcoming home 13 dead bodies.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hey guys, Jeff Nyhan. How are you today?
Good, Jeff. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm great. Always nice to hear you guys talk about current events. I love how Jenny gets fired up.
Oh, good.
Here's the other thing too. If you read that article, that this last plane that just left, so that's just the rest of the soldiers. There's still Americans on the ground there in Afghanistan that they did not evacuate.
Okay.
There's an estimated about 300 to 400 Americans that are still in Afghanistan. There are no more soldiers, based on the report that just came out. There are no more soldiers on the ground, but there are American citizens still in Afghanistan.
Well, that is part of...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Jeff, isn't that part of what's so maddening about this? Shouldn't the military have been the last to leave, not the first? You know?
Yeah, right. I mean, I agree with you, Matt, but I think we set such a hard deadline, and I don't think it begs the question: is there after being there for so long, can you ever fully remove yourself from that country? I don't think so, because in my opinion, this is coming from from my side, is that we've had this threat of violence against the Taliban for the last X amount of years, right? So now we remove that threat of us doing any violence to them because we've negotiated this, we've withdrawn our troops. So we negotiated this big thing, and we're gone now. What happens now? There's no more threat of violence against this terrorist organization over there. They have free reign as of, I would say right now, they have free reign to do what they want. And Jenny's 100% accurate. They're going to go back to their old ways. It's not like these people are reformed. It's a reformed political party. This is a terrorist group. It's always going to be a terrorist group. And how do we move forward from here?
See, and that's what, and you're bringing up important points, because the thing that I read about that headline that bothers me is it's like they put a period in it. It's ended. It's done. We took our, too bad, too sad if you're still stuck there and you happen to be an American, or worse, somebody that worked with the Americans. And
John,
right, and then so the other side of that too is, right, so how much hate does this breed, right?
Oh,
so let's say the Taliban are now recruiting people, and now these people are now extremely upset that the United States left them behind. They did work for us. They were interpreters, whatever. Did we just create another 400,000 terrorists that joined Taliban because they're so mad at us? I mean, I don't know the numbers, but you get what I'm saying.
What's going to happen to the kids that are teenagers right now in a few years when they watched America turn their back and they watched their mom get stoned or their sister get attacked?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Because that's what's going on here. And we saw American journalists, women journalists who were over there and had been for quite a number of time being told to cover up, or they were coming after you. Get off the street. You're not covered. Showing your face.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Jay. I mean, we're going to see some mass executions. I would imagine starting tonight, if not tomorrow. That's just my opinion. There's no fact behind that, just my opinion. But we know who these actors are, right? We know the makeup of these Taliban terrorist organizations. We know what they're capable of and what they thrive in doing. And now there's no threat of violence against them to keep them in check. They're going to run wild. And unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of lives lost, I think, in Afghanistan in the coming weeks. No question about it.
Do you think, Jeff, because I kind of at this point feel like we should have kept 2,500 at Bagram Air Force Base and just kept that?
Man, 100%. I mean, we have to keep the force contingency there to show them that, hey, we are still very serious. And we have assets on the ground that we can then mobilize quickly if we need to if a group flares up or that this, that, whatever happens. But now we're going to have a battle too, Matt, which nobody's talking about. Now we're going to have this battle between Taliban and then whatever they're calling the ISIS-K.
Yeah.
These two groups do not get along, right? So now we're going to have a battle between these two terrorist organizations to see who the number one terrorist organization is.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to get some bad stuff from both of these groups, and it's just a recipe for disaster moving forward. Unfortunately, I do agree with you. We should have kept some force there. We also probably shouldn't have given up hundreds of thousands of weapons and tanks and helicopters.
Black Hawk helicopters, air to missile.
Blown those up before we exited, but.
Well, yeah, and we gave them that base. I mean, right. It's
I
frustrating.
want to get sick to my stomach thinking about the fact that the bullets and things that we paid for, that's what's going to get used on these people. And I feel like it's like you say
I mean, they left fully equipped gunships over there.
You're walking away from people inside cages.
Helicopters.
You're turning your back and just walking away. I mean, we got soldiers that are going to be hurting forever with this, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the same thing happened in Iraq with, we were fighting ISIS with our own stuff because,
Right.
we armed the Iraqis, and then ISIS is using our own weapons against us. It's madness.
And then we
But
turn our backs while they kill people.
I think you both brought up a great point. It doesn't matter who was in office, if it was Trump or Biden. I mean, we saw you mentioned what Trump did with the withdrawal, and then with what Biden just did. I mean, it's a crappy exit strategy on both ends, no matter who the president is. And I get us, and I get Biden trying to hold on to this timeline. But if we saw what was going on, listen, I could plan to pay off my house next month. And if something happens and I can't pay it off, I'm going to extend it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a contingency plan. It says, hey, the 31st maybe is not going to work out. Let's go the 31st, next month. Let's go 30 days out and see where we are then. Right?
Why did Biden Why did Biden have to dig his heels in so hard? Why couldn't he go? Yeah, didn't know it was going to happen this fast. We just sent back 2,300 troops, and we're going to get back under control so we can leave responsibly. But what I don't understand from the get-go is, why did we just all of a sudden, we're leaving, everybody pack it up, whatever you can carry, we're leaving, everything else just sit where it is? Why wasn't there a slow withdrawal, slowly backing it up, turning over each section of the country over to what was the government?
Yeah.
Instead of we've just pulled out, took everything. It's like we just, it's like taking away the force field, and you're standing there naked as you can be, and there's nothing between you and them.
A basic exit plan. I won't keep you guys. I know you're going to take a break, but your basic exit plan, right, is you take your furthest assets, you move them back to checkpoint, you move them back to another checkpoint until we're all back into that airfield and everybody's on the last plane out. This was just hey, we're shutting the airport. Meet us at this gate. That doesn't make any sense.
If you can get there.
Yeah, if you can get there.
Right.
And there are people they're saying this isn't going to be the Taliban like it was. This is a nicer Taliban. So what they're doing is camping out in front of people's houses and waiting for them to show their head. As soon as you come up for air,
Jenny,
we're taking you.
It's a kinder, gentler Taliban.
Yeah.
They've been reformed.
They'll shoot
Taliban,
you instead of cutting your head off, maybe? Is that the deal?
Yeah, very kind. Very kind of them. Very kind.
But we won't want your daughters to know how to read and write.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy. But
it is.
All right, guys, have a great rest of the show. Nice chat. Appreciate it.
All right, Jeff, thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah, take care.
Bye-bye.
It's that one haunting image that kills me, that woman who's just trying to force herself through the gate, and her cry is so guttural as she's begging the American soldiers, please, they're coming for me. Please. Like, she's so, how can you not feel that?
Yeah.
We did this. It's not okay. I want Biden to stand up and go, you know what? I screwed this up. We're sending this in. We're getting all of our assets and people out. And anybody who tries to come at us, we're going to shoot them. These guys don't have an air force. We've got so many different ways that we could overwhelm them. It's not even funny, but we're letting this happen. We might as well just pull the triggers ourselves. Why did we leave them? Why did we give them new schools? Why did we encourage young girls to go to university if this is what we were going to do? Why? So they know what they were going to miss?
Well, they may not have an Air Force, but we left them a nice airport.
Yeah, people are making jokes that supposedly there were 35 Blackhawks and 3 of them have been trashed because they were trying to fly them.
That's what Tom said in the chat room.
35 Blackhawks? Really? We left that. That. How many lives could that maybe save? Huh? How much does my infusion treatment cost, Maddie? And we're gonna throw money like that?
Well, we are past the top of the hour, so we will take a break, and I do see a lot of great Facebook live comments, so we'll come back to those after the break. But you're listening to Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH. Don't go away. There is plenty more to come. welcome to hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org, and on the Facebook on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And of course, you can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. And of course, hello to our friends at Raw Talk Online and Tomorrow Radio. Today is Monday, August 30th, 2021. Jenny is here as well at the news desk.
Shalom.
And of course, I do want to remind you, we are sponsored by the Hop Knot. Don't go there today because Monday and Tuesday is their weekend, but they are open Wednesday through Sunday. They have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. They have, what do they have? They've got Thursday nights is trivia night, hosted by the great Bill Cini, which I believe resumes this week. Yep. And Friday nights, of course, our friend Grant Lampton performs live from 7 to 9 p.m. And you mentioned the Gender Blender is this weekend.
I believe that is this weekend.
This weekend, yes, yes.
I'm a terrible person because I didn't look.
Great food, great service, and a wonderful family that owns and operates at the Hop Knot on Elm, right across the street. And if you'd like to enter the discussion today, of course you can. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat, but the best thing to do is give us a call at 603-250-6007. Just to kind of catch up too with the Facebook live chat comments regarding what we were discussing at the end of the first hour, the situation in Afghanistan. Scott Robinson says Biden screwed up this whole thing royally, huge misstep. Tom Blanchard says in all caps, OMG, we gave the Taliban a list of people who have helped us. And Tom says, it turns my stomach to see them driving our Humvees. Yep, absolutely. There is, by the way, Nemi had shared this out, our friend Nemi Jones. I'm going to look at this later. It's kind of a long article, but The Atlantic has this article up. Biden deserves credit, not blame, for Afghanistan. It says Americans should feel proud of what the U.S. government and military have accomplished in the past 2 weeks. I'm going to look at the article later, but I assume it's written from the, there are still these people who are approaching this from the angle of, look, there was no easy way to do this. Biden ripped the bandage off, but, at least we're finally getting out. But like I said, I'm rethinking my assumptions and viewpoints of, what I didn't.
He's using Trump as an excuse.
Well,
Trump made my hands with this deal.
Somewhat.
But the buck stopped with him. Which
Right.
is it, buddy? You don't get both.
Well, the thing that I wanted to mention too, and we are going to move on to another subject momentarily, but something else that had me rethinking a lot of what I had been thinking about this is, this idea of at least keeping a minimum of 2,500 troops there at Bagram Air Force Base to maintain that. And, with strategic reasons, again, that borders China. That's a big reason right there. And of course, the Chinese are very happy and the Russians are very happy to see all of this happening. But the other thing, too, is that, because some people will say, well, wait, no, that's not getting out. Getting out means getting out. But somebody pointed this out. It was one of the talking heads on one of the cable news shows pointed this out. And it was such an obvious thing, and I'd never thought about it this way before. But somebody said, what's the big deal about keeping 2,500 troops there when we still have, and I forget what the number is, it's an obscene number, tens of thousands of troops in Korea.
Well, I don't agree with that one either, though.
On the border of North and South Korea. Tens of thousands of troops there who've been there for decades. And nobody ever says boo about we need to get them out of there.
No, that's not true.
I think the number's been reduced a little bit over time.
There are people who have been saying that we shouldn't be the policemen of the world.
Yeah, but nobody
and we should back out of some of these locations we've been in forever.
Yeah, but nobody ever says. But I mean, if you think about the tens of thousands of troops that we have in Korea, and yet, we can't leave 2,500 in Afghanistan?
Well, probably because what we're hearing about is soldiers dying in Afghanistan. So I don't hear the nightly news telling me tonight in the news, in Korea, we lost 5 people today. That's not what I'm hearing.
No, of course not.
It's
No.
Afghanistan.
Right. But we hadn't had a casualty in Afghanistan. See, the thing is, the last 5 years, in the last 18 months, not a single U.S. casualty in Afghanistan. And actually, in the last 5 years, it had been relatively stable. So we probably should have left some
great,
people
nice
there.
number while we were still there and had things relatively under control. Now look,
Right.
how many dead? Oh, 13.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
13.
Yeah. So I think there's it is possible that long term, politically, again, this is strictly a political analysis that I'm offering now. I want to be clear. I'm not justifying or rationalizing anything. But there may be a political calculation here for Biden and for his administration that once, now that our military, they're saying the mission is over, after 20 years, the mission is over. As time passes and we're dealing with other things and the pandemic drags on and whatnot, that this will recede to being in the rearview mirror for most Americans. And there may not be a long term. In the short term.
Oh, ain't that a good reason?
In the short term. Oh, well, again, like I said, I'm just offering a political analysis. This is not a rationalization.
If we close our eyes and don't see the atrocities, then we can avoid them.
Right. But Americans have short memories when it comes to this stuff. And it is.
God, I hope not in this case.
It is possible that politically this does not damage him in the long term. Only in the short term it has. His approval rating is below 50% for the first time since his inauguration, because Americans felt pretty good about his handling of the pandemic, which I still give him high marks for. On the Afghanistan withdrawal, I give him an F, frankly. Oh, F, frankly. But this may recede quickly in the
I hope not.
in the consciousness of the electorate, and
I hope not.
Well, we'll
this
see.
Is this
Again,
this
just a
is
political
nothing.
analysis.
This is not same day different circumstances. This is different. We went in there. We pushed and created and helped to establish some sort of democracy or some kind of difference in their government. We've been there for over 20 years. We've got young adults who have never known a world without us, who went to school without being harassed, who were never asked to get married at the age of 10. This is not, oh God, this is not something we should ever close our eyes to or stop talking about. This is going to lead to mass atrocities against women, against females in Afghanistan. There are going to be countless deaths. There are going to be countless rapes. We're turning on back on 10-year-olds getting raped and forced into marriage. We're turning on back on a 12-year-old being forced to give birth, then put on a sheet, because if anybody sees her face, they're going to bury her or stone her to death. We're turning our back. That's what we're not leaving. We're not ending something. We're turning our backs. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted. I'm angry as all get out with our government of what we are doing and what we're willing to walk away from. No matter how much it's shown to you on TV that this is wrong, no matter how much we know, and even Biden saying, we didn't expect it to happen this fast. You knew it was going to happen. They knew it was going to happen. They knew how bad it was going to be, and they let it happen. They walked away. You might as well line up the Jews in the pit, and you walk away and turn your back while the guards sit there and shoot them all down into the pit, because that's literally what we're doing to these women. That's literally what we're doing. There are going to be atrocities, human atrocities.
There is a thought regarding the Taliban that, and I think, I'm skeptical about this idea, and it sounds like you are too, and it sounded like Jeff was too, Jeff Nyhan, when he called. But there is this idea that the Taliban maybe, look, it's not going to be a kinder, gentler Taliban, but they might be a little less violent because apparently, and I want to read more about this because I think this is interesting. From what I understand, it's estimated that about 90% of their assets, their financial assets, are currently frozen. And there may be a way to leverage them. And I assume this was part of the discussion when Trump and Pompeo were trying to negotiate with the Taliban before. Well, they did negotiate with I shouldn't say trying.
Can they show us where in this negotiation they established a new government?
Right. Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering though, if it is true, what is purported to be 90% of their assets are currently frozen, and is it possible to use that to leverage them into being a kinder, gentler Taliban?
Oh, please.
We'll unfreeze this or that.
If that's even remotely close to being true, whoever came up with that foolishness needs to have their head smacked off the head.
Well,
body. Come on.
Again, I need to read more about it because this particular aspect of things is interesting to me. But from the little bit that I understand, the Afghanistan government is now operating at a deficit, and they need to, if the Taliban is in control, they're going to, if they effectively replace what was the existing, which I guess they have, right?
They'll have lots of money and less women.
The existing Afghan government.
And girls.
If they want to be able to operate, they're going to have some of those assets unfrozen. So there might be a possibility to leverage that against the Taliban and get them to behave themselves more.
Will let girls go to school till they're 12 instead of 9, and they can get married at 12 instead?
I don't know.
Is that the negotiation?
I'm just saying that is a thought that apparently is in the calculus here.
But Maddie, this is what they're saying.
I'm skeptical.
But what they're saying is this is somehow a kinder Taliban that's going to be more open to gender issues with women.
Mm-hmm.
And they've come out and said, well, we'll let girls go to school to this age, but you can't have mixed classes anymore. You can't have males and females learning in the same classroom anymore, which you and I both know translates into a crappy education for the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not going to be getting what the boys are getting. We already know this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Taliban's history shows us that they have zero use for women except for cleaning the house and pushing out babies. Other than that, they got no use for you.
Yeah.
And we're content to let that happen. We're just going to walk away. Oh, we'll bring our people home. Well, most of them anyway. And we're never going to even know how many Americans got left behind. Because if you're telling me you didn't leave any behind, oh, that's bull. I don't believe that one iota that there aren't Americans left behind. And there most definitely are Afghans that are going to be on a hit list. Because for the last 20 years, they've been working with the American government.
Well, we'll move on because you wanted to talk about the horse dewormer.
Oh, seriously. Oh, my God. You want somebody explain to me how... Okay, this number one, you're not going to be finding a bunch of human trials on this thing. It's a dewormer drug. When's the last time you heard we needed to deworm your newborn? That's just, that doesn't happen. And people are taking this stuff if they think they have COVID or as preventative somehow. I mean, that you'll do, but you won't get a vaccine. Really? Really? You take dewormer medication? Yeah. We're not drinking pool cleaner. We're going to eat some dewormer meds.
Oh.
You and Fido are going to be all set, man.
Pool cleaner. Has anyone researched that, though?
Ingesting pool cleaner?
Yeah. Has anyone looked into that?
I think the poison control has. Although poison control is now receiving an alarming number of calls in relation to the Iverson, the dewormer drug.
Ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
You're thinking of Allen Iverson. I think he's a basketball player.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm
just still trying to wrap my head around intelligent people taking a dewormer drug and thinking that's safe.
Well, no, I think we can safely assume there are not intelligent people taking the dewormer drug.
Supposedly, some of these people have degrees. From where, I'm not sure.
Well,
but really, dewormer drugs?
I shared this out earlier.
A secret government conspiracy to deworm your newborn.
I got this from Fred Bonig's Facebook page, and I shared it out to Unleashed, and people liked it. Anti-vaxxers who take horse dewormer ivermectin shall hereby be referred to as naysayers. So.
Oh, God. Really? Really? Go. Hundreds of millions of people around the globe have been inoculated against COVID, but you're going to take a horse dewormer. Well, you're smarter than the average man.
And then there's no horse dewormers left. It says here, this is from the Reno Gazette-Journal in Reno, Nevada. It says, deworming season is fast approaching for horse owners in northern Nevada. Every September through November, horses are administered medications containing ivermectin to stave off life-threatening parasitic intestinal worms. But this year, feed stores are having a difficult time keeping large animal ivermectin medications on the shelves due to a spike in interest in the drug's use as a home remedy for COVID-19.
You moron.
But the FDA hasn't approved ivermectin to combat COVID-19. Not only that, the differences between the human and large animal forms of the drug are significant and potentially deadly.
Imagine that.
Yes.
Remember, this attacks parasites. How many parasites do you have today?
Come on. Personally, I don't think I even have any worms.
Seriously.
We'd know if I did, right?
Yeah, they'd be wiggling around in your poo-poos.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we definitely would know.
Because when you give dewormer to animals, guess what comes out their poo?
Yikes.
Lots of wormies.
It says here, quote,
sometimes they're still moving.
Lately, it's been flying off the shelves again, unquote, says McKenna LaFond, who works at Sierra Feed and Saddlery in Reno. When it's in stock, it only lasts a week before it's sold out again. LaFond says the rush on ivermectin medications for animals has been going on for months as COVID-19 cases began to increase in Nevada.
Morons.
Sierra Feed and Saddlery has limited, I don't know how to say that word, I've never seen it before in my life, has limited means to determine who needs ivermectin for livestock and who plans to use it as a COVID-19 preventative or cure. LaFond said, quote, we have a sign up that says for animal use only and write it on the receipts. We make the customers sign it just so they know that it's for horses, unquote.
And then they go out and they open their trunk and they sell it out of the trunk to their friends. Oh, God. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, I really think that's what's actually happening. So for a real simplistic thing about medicine, modern medicine is usually, especially medication, is based upon your weight. If you don't weigh as much, we don't give you as much drug so we don't kill you or hurt you. If you weigh a little more, that's what we do. But the last time I checked, we didn't have a lot of Americans running around between 840 and 2,200 pounds, which is the average weight of a horse. 840 to 2,200 pounds. Okay, guys? Do not take horse medicine. You can, no horsey medicine for human. This is Darwin at its worst. And if any of these fools feed it to their children, they should be charged with child abuse.
Oh, absolutely.
This is disgusting. And no, you don't put horse dewormer in your body.
Well, this might help sway some people. There's a section here in the article, Side Effects of Self-Administered Ivermectin. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control issued a health advisory on Thursday urging people against taking ivermectin, saying that poison control centers had experienced a 5-fold increase in calls for symptoms ranging from hallucinations and confusion to gastrointestinal issues. Ivermectin in a pill form is used to treat parasitic worms in humans. A topical form of the drug is used to treat head lice and skin conditions, such as rosacea, the FDA says. Other forms of ivermectin are used to treat parasites in horses and cows and as a heartworm medicine for dogs.
In a very different dosage schedule.
Yes. An ivermectin overdose in humans can cause nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, low blood pressure, and allergic reactions such as itching or hives, seizures, dizziness, problems with balance, coma, and potentially death, according to the FDA,
What's a little death between us?
which has warned consumers about the potential harm for months.
You do not weigh over 840 pounds. You should not be taking horse medicine. Oh, my God. I can't believe we need to say these things. In 2021, we're seriously having a discussion on Evening Drive about a horse dewormer.
The death part in particular seems a bit self-defeating.
Well, if you happen to make it, but you screw up your intestines, we know how to make a little hole in your belly so we can drag part of your intestines out.
I
so
don't
it's
even,
and then we can glue a bag to it to catch the poop.
Even need to think about that.
That's what we can do to you. Don't worry, modern medicine's got a few ways to put you back together.
The form of the drug, pills for humans, paste for large animals, isn't the only difference between the drugs. The formulations, this is what you were talking about, the formulations and doses are wildly different between humans and animals weighing up to a ton or more.
Yada.
It's not an antiviral drug, but it has been among the drugs discussed on internet forums by vaccine skeptics and coronavirus deniers.
I knew QAnon was coming somewhere.
Yep, as one to help treat COVID-19. Similarly, some touted hydroxychloroquine, as did our former president, a drug approved for malaria as a way to treat COVID-19 patients. Neither drug has been approved for use by the FDA against COVID-19, which has warned against potentially serious side effects from self-administered hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin.
I don't understand why people want to take their chance on getting it to then take a chance on one of these drugs instead of just getting vaccinated and just not getting that sick in the first place. Let's avoid the hospital by not getting that sick in the first place. Not let's pray that this drug can come in if I do get that sick and maybe keep me out of the hospital. Where's the logic in this, Maddie? My head hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it is right. It's the same people who they don't trust a vaccine because... the
same people that don't trust the vaccine are mad at you because you won't give them an antibiotic for your sore throat that doesn't need one. Well, this is the insanity that is humankind.
By the way, hello to Jared Martineau, who joins us in the Facebook live chat. By the way, there is an article. I can't read it because it requires a subscription, but it just caught my eye. The Chicago Tribune, you have to pay for a subscription, but they have a column up. A letter from a horse. Please stop taking ivermectin to treat COVID-19. That's our medication, you ninny.
Right?
So...
that could actually, and in all seriousness, if vets don't have the medicine, you got these animals that are coming due and babies that need to be treated, and they're not going to get treated, so they're going to have problems there. So you're hurting private industry. How does that go? How does that match your belief system? I don't get it. Yeah. I feel like I stepped into the twilight zone about 18 months ago, and I've not gotten back out. Like I'm in an alternate reality where suddenly science is verboten and conspiracy and sun gods are all in.
Well, it's like I said last week. When it comes to all of this stuff, have a conversation with your doctor, in terms of how you should approach this. And look, I've said, just to make it clear to people, but I'll say it again here. Now, today, if you're not getting vaccinated because you had a conversation with your doctor and your doctor, for whatever reasons, told you, hey, because of your particular circumstance, because of medical conditions that you have, et cetera, whatever it is, whatever's going on with you medically, if your doctor says to you, I don't feel comfortable with you getting this vaccine, I think it's better to take the risk of getting COVID rather than getting vaccinated because your particular medical circumstances, I have a concern about it. If that's why you're not getting vaccinated, because you had a conversation with your doctor and your doctor said, don't, I got no beef with you. My beef is with all the people who avoid having a conversation with their doctor about it and instead they get their information from fringe websites and right-wing Facebook memes and, I didn't talk to my doctor, but I'm not getting vaccinated because I had a conversation with my next door neighbor whose college roommate's cousin did a half a semester at med school, but knows a pharmacist in Boise, Idaho, who saw someone get vaccinated and then their blood turned green and now they're a Vulcan. And so
my 20-year-old daughter saw this on the internet, and that must be what the problem is.
Yeah.
Seriously, I have about a dozen different providers, ranging from Dana-Farber Hospital, Brigham and Women's, Mass General, Wentworth Douglas, Concord Hospital. All of these people have not only taken the vaccine themselves and given it to their own family, but every single one of them very much wanted me to be vaccinated as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So if that helps any in mass, that's what I look at as an individual. I'm looking at that going, well, you're sticking it in your own arm too. So what's going on here?
Well, we have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Rob. I use ivermectin on my dogs.
Yes.
To treat heartworm.
Yes.
Yes, parasite. Yep. That's a parasite.
Yeah. The recommended dose is 1/10 of a cc per pound of dog. So you give your dog,
and
you don't inject it into them. You just put it in their food, and it prevents heartworm. It doesn't prevent, other
viruses,
sicknesses, and virus. Yeah, it
doesn't do anything for a virus.
It keeps them from getting worms.
I do have a question though, Rob.
Rob.
And tell me the truth. Are you ever tempted to dip into the ivermectin yourself and just see, if it keeps you from getting a parasite or something, or getting a virus?
No, I get my shots at the doctor, but because I have a bunch of dogs, it's cheaper to get the ivermectin at Tractor Supply and administer it in their food than it is to buy, heartworm pills, which are a lot more expensive. So it's just a practical way of treating animals, from getting sick.
So you use the ivermectin for your dogs, and you get your shots at the doctor. You're one of the smart people.
Oh,
you sure you don't want to suck some of that tube up? The paste.
Absolutely not.
Just checking.
I think that's wise, Rob. I think you're on the right track.
Something about do not ingest on the bottle, maybe. Just checking.
It definitely says yes, and it's and you got to be careful. I mean, you could kill your dog if you gave them too much, because it's designed for horses and large farm animals. So you have to be really cautious about how much you actually give to a canine. And like I said, it's a very, very minuscule dose, 1/10 of 1 cc per pound of animal, of dog. So, it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small dose.
By the way, do you ever have any trouble getting it? Because apparently in some parts of the country, it's flying off the shelves because humans are actually taking it.
I have not bought it in a while. It has a pretty long shelf life, and a little vial lasts a long time because you use such a small dose of it on a monthly basis. So I tend to have it expire before I actually use an entire vial. So I haven't bought it in over a year.
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
You might want to grab an extra tube. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a whole lot of morons out there sucking it out like candy.
Yeah.
Morons.
I know it's pretty incredible. All right, Rob. Anything else on your mind?
Nope, that's it. Stay off the ivermectin.
All right. Outstanding. All right, my friend. Thank you for the call. Take care.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye. All right. You heard it from Rob. Stay off the ivermectin. That's right. It's for your dogs.
Jeez, people. This fact that we have to say these things is really sad, okay? Just really, really sad.
Actually, he didn't indicate where he was from, but assuming he's from around here, at least, in this part of the country where people are educated more, hopefully, the Northeast.
He said that so smoothly.
Well,
yes and no.
We got a lot of.
There's plenty of them around here,
No,
too.
I know there are, but
unfortunately.
But you look at COVID, we're certainly doing better than, say, the South.
To a point, we got plenty of them out here that are going, don't muzzle our children.
Oh, I know.
We can't vaccinate them yet, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Again, moron mentality.
By the way, Stacy Lawton joins us in the chat room. She says, hey, everybody. Sorry to be so late. I'm going to have to listen to the show later. Wish me luck. Tomorrow is arraignment day.
Ah.
All right.
The plot thickens on as...
Well, good luck with that, Stacy.
I hope it doesn't go badly for you, but
Yeah.
at the same token, I'm really hoping that you're telling the truth and you really didn't do what you're saying you did. They're saying you did.
Right.
Because anybody who does that is an absolute... I can't say it.
Well, I will say it is easy to, they call it spoofing, right? When you...
Yeah, and there was a story about that recently.
Yeah.
There was a story about spoofing getting people recently.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, it was made to look like they were calling... People were calling from like a police department or something.
Right.
And the phone calls weren't real.
Yeah.
But anybody who calls into 911, I hope every 911 call is taken extraordinarily seriously.
Yeah.
And if services are being sent to you and somebody else is having a heart attack and you're a joke, the person with the heart attack might be getting buried in a couple of days. So 911 should never be used for anything but a real emergency that you really need fire, EMS, or police to come and save the day. Because, taking them to your place unnecessarily, not so good. I'm not saying that's what happened. That's what the accusation is. And that's a serious thing in my book. As a former EMT, I would get really ticky at that.
Yeah.
Although I used to get upset, too, sometimes when people would call 911. It's 2 a.m. It's the middle of a blizzard. You get up, you get dressed, you get out of bed, you race down there, and they go, nah, I don't want you to take me. But you really should go into the hospital. You're having chest pains and your blood pressure is really high. No, I don't really want to go. Well, what in the world did you call?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you call 2 a.m?
Well, what's becoming a real problem in some of the southern states now is I shouldn't. I mean, it's getting worse and worse now. There's places in the country where if you show up at the emergency room for chest pains, you might not get in. You might not be able to get seen.
That has
because
happened.
They're so overwhelmed now with COVID, and it's just the healthcare system just is being completely overwhelmed in Texas and Louisiana, and of course Louisiana now. Really getting their asses kicked because of the hurricane on top of it. There was a hospital that had the roof ripped off by the hurricane.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that footage. It was insane.
But
it looked like it was a twister more than it did a hurricane.
Yeah.
The way it just peeled back.
Oh, yeah. But, Florida.
You ever heard the saying, minutes are heart muscle or heart death? We talk about every moment that you wait to get treatment is another moment that you can lose heart muscle, and heart muscle doesn't regenerate. Once it's dead, it's dead. And minutes count, seconds count. ERs everywhere around the United States and probably in other countries as well. One of the things they pride themselves on is what they call the door to balloon time, and that's the arrival time of a heart attack patient and the moment that they're in the cardiac catheterization suite with the doctors, and they put that balloon in, they open that artery back up, and the blood starts to flow again. That's a save. And for every moment that happened quicker, that's more heart muscle that got saved. What they're talking about now, what you're talking about is going on in these other states is that ambulances are being diverted. They can't pull in.
Yeah.
Or if they've got nowhere else to go, they're in the parking lot taking care of people. Because they can't bring them in. Because there's nobody. You can throw beds up against a wall all you want to. You can stick cardiac monitors as far as your eye can see. But if you don't have a nurse to stare at that monitor, if you don't have a technician, if you don't have a doctor to put in those orders, you're going to die. It just doesn't work that way. You will die. And the amount of people that are in hospitals right now with COVID, 90% of them are unvaccinated. You guys are causing this.
Yep.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated, and they're not just taking their own lives. They're costing other people their lives when services can't be available to them because they're stretched too thin.
Yeah.
There are countless ICU nurses that have quit.
Oh,
they can't do it anymore.
You can't blame them for walking away.
I saw a statistic that was something like 60% of ICU nurses are in complete burnout right now.
Oh, yeah.
They're barely hanging on.
How could they not be?
Because you got to understand, nurses, especially in ICU, they're not supposed to have like more than a couple of patients because ICU patients are extraordinarily difficult to take care of. There's so many lines and medications and turning and keeping all the things that the nurses have got to do. You put in a third patient and force them. They're going to do what they can do, but they're not going to be able to do their best.
Right.
And you're going to stretch them too thin that they're collapsing, that they're getting sick because they're not sleeping right. They're not eating right. They're working, instead of 3 12-hour shifts, they're working 4, 5, 6 12-hour shifts in a row, and they're ready to drop.
By the way, speaking of the, earlier we were talking about the phone spoofing.
Yeah.
Christian Lacoste, also known as DJ Reckless, is in the Facebook live chat, and he says T-Mobile has great deals right now if anyone is interested in switching.
Well, thank you very much for telling us that, Christian. I will bear it in mind, but I think I'm okay at the moment. But I will bear it in mind.
Also,
you have great deals.
So Nemi Jones is in the chat room. She also has a comment about Stacey's situation. She says, yes, absolutely looking forward to seeing Nashua's case against Stacey. What I've heard so far hasn't been promising, and wasting emergency services should absolutely be prosecuted, especially if proven as a repeat from someone with that part of criminal history. Stop hemorrhaging taxpayer dollars. Absolutely ridiculous.
Oh, I'll go one further. If you put in a 911 call that diverts that ambulance and somebody else dies of a heart attack while it's happening, you should get brought up on charges.
Yes.
You should be prosecuted for involuntary manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
At least, if not a degree of murder, because you caused it. You might as well have just pulled the trigger on them.
And by the way, Abigail Gem also joins us in the Facebook live chat. I remember when Bridgegate happened in New Jersey, which I still to this day believe there's no way that Chris Christie didn't know what was going on there.
Oh, I totally believe he knew it.
Absolutely. But there was I know there was at least one instance of an emergency vehicle that couldn't get to a patient because they got tied up in that what they call it, a quote unquote traffic study.
Yeah,
in Fort,
and they couldn't get the patient in.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine how horrifying that was for that crew trying to get through, because you're 2 people in a rig most of the time. You got one EMT in the back taking care of the patient, the other one's trying to drive you through. But if that patient is that needed, you need both people in the back. Who's driving?
Yeah,
right. So yeah, they set these guys up for failure, and they're going to live for the rest of their lives on losing that patient.
Yeah.
You don't get over something like that. That's something that could have been preventable if you could have just gotten there. I can't begin to tell you what an emergency responder feels like if they could have just got there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't abuse 911. You call it if you need it. Don't abuse it. Don't send police to somebody's house because you think it's funny, because it's not funny. It's a great way to get somebody killed. And it's definitely a way of costing somebody else's life. Because all those emergency services is sitting in front of your friend's house. It's not a joke. It's not funny. Don't do it. I don't know what else to say, Maddie. I'm just so I'm done today. I'm unpeoply today with certain things.
Well, the show's almost over anyway.
So I can be done then.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can all be done.
Okay.
All right, well, we do need to begin to wrap up. So thanks, everybody. Of course, I want to remind you, don't forget the Hop Knot. Don't go there today or tomorrow. They're closed, but they'll be open Wednesday through Sunday. Our wonderful sponsor. Always thank you to them.
Sunday is the Gender Blender Brunch
very good.
on Sunday.
Very good. Christian says, well, I'm going back to work, probably going to spoof some people's phones. Don't do that.
Stop it.
Don't do that. Let's see. Oh, I want to remind everybody, of course, thank you, Katie Dobbins, for calling in earlier and joining us. Her website is kddobinsmusic.com. And don't forget to vote for her in the, now I'm looking, oh, there it is. You can vote for her in the New England Music Awards, nemusicawards.com/vote. We'll take you there. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Of course, in the second hour, Mike Sutterth will be here with his weekly Tweakonomics segment. And Jenny, anything you wanted to mention?
If you want to check out any of my writings or artwork, you can go to jencoffee.com, and you can also find me as a contributing writer on The Mighty at jencoffee.
Very good. All right, we're going to get out of here. If you missed any part of today's show, it will be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and my website, mattconnerton.com. And that's going to do it for us for now. Talk to y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.